Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of The Grumpy Dads. As always, we have with us Chris.
Hello, mate. And this week we have got the amazing Kirsty. How you doing, Kirsty?
Hi. I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, I'm very well. Duncan, you okay?
I'm all right. Nothing that blowing up BT won't solve, but other than that, yeah. Anyone who saw my tweets today will understand I'm not happy with BT right now.
So how long was you in hold for in the end?
64 minutes before they got to me. Yeah, I just love the irony that a telephone company can't answer the damn phone.
As always, we're going to kick off with icebreaker antics.
I'm nervous.
For first-time viewers, I scour the net for products with 1-star reviews, and I read out the reviews, and you've got a guess by the reviews of the product. On the first review, if you guess it right, you get 3 stars. On the second review, 2 stars. And on the last review, 1 star. Okay, let's kick off. The cord is so short, takes twice as long to get the job done.
I'm going with hair straighteners.
No, it's not. It's not.
Okay.
I really thought you were going to get it right then.
There's a myriad of things going through my mind. I mean, it could be something like a drill. It could be any number of toys, but we won't go into that. I'm wondering if maybe it's got. Is it a Hoover, a cleaner, or a vacuum cleaner?
Eaten so much. You didn't hear that, did you? Yeah, it's
so much. This partnership's going well, everyone. Yeah.
And Mike picks up everything. Yeah, it's a Hoover. I'm going to read out the other reviews anyway. It sucks so hard, just not in the way it should.
You should have gone with that one first.
And the last one, really stiff, no suction, feels like I'm rubbing my carpet. Yeah, Duncan's earned you 3 stars. That's a great start. So we'll move on to the second one. This is really unstable. Do not swing in it.
My wife.
I'm taking that as a guess, or saying that about your wife.
That wasn't a guess.
No, you've lost it. I'm standing up because I know she's over there. So no, you've had your guess now. Kirsty, what's yours?
A hammock.
Oh my God. Yeah, it's a hammock.
Did I get it right?
This is just, I can't believe this.
Yes.
6 stars. The other 2 reviews for the hammock. My wife tried to get in it once. I'd hung it up. It literally put her back out, not the outcome I wanted, and extremely uncomfortable. And that's if you manage to get in it, the ropes burn as well. 6 stars.
We're on a roll.
We're on the road to a record here. If we get this in the first round, we've got 9 stars. That's the highest.
Okay, no pressure.
There's no reflection or something that you're looking at my pages. Last product, first review. Why is it so tight? If I push it all the way in, it burns.
I knew you would do this to me.
What are you thinking, Kirsty?
This might be one of the worst ones I've done. I'm going to ask you, Kirsty, what's going through your head right now?
I can't say.
You can't
say.
You've got to turn that part of your mind off.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of something sensible.
Yeah.
What, the one that leaps immediately to what's the most obvious answer?
I mean, what is the obvious answer on this one? I don't.
I'm just going to say it. Is it a pocket?
No, it's not. Jesus. Why is it so tight? If I push it all the way in, it burns. Well, no. Right, Kirsty, obviously...
I can't think of anything. Well, I can, but I can't think of anything sensible. No, I can't think of anything.
Okay, we're going to take a pass for this one then.
Pass, yeah.
Next review. The last thing I thought I needed to check was the slot size.
Is it a one-arm bandit?
No, it's not a one-arm bandit. Why would it? I don't think if I push it all the way in, it burns.
Okay.
I don't know. It burns my wallet whenever I'm near one.
Yeah.
Yeah, pass.
Pass, okay. Right, last review. Unless someone is trying to add an extra brown crisp to a Jacob's cracker, this is useless.
I have no idea.
Really? I thought you'd get it.
I have
That's why
no
I always make the
idea.
last one really easy.
Is it like a deep fat fryer?
No, it's not crisp.
Oh, what about, maybe like a toasty machine?
Toaster. Yeah.
Toaster?
Yeah. Okay.
Toasting.
Okay, we'll go with it's a toaster. It's a toaster. That's 7 stars. That's still right up there. And I still haven't sorted out the league table. I don't know where you are now. It's near the top.
The highest is 8, so you're just under the highest.
Oh, it's close.
I don't even know what you win.
Bragging rights. You get bragging rights.
Again, thanks for joining us, Kirsty. We really appreciate
That's
you
okay.
coming on to speak to us. Kirsty, you're a single mum of 2.
I am.
Son has autism, is that right?
My son's autistic. Yeah.
What
Billy.
daily challenges do you face with Billy and your kids?
We're in a place now where I never thought we would be, to be honest. They're going into school lovely. Bedtime's become a lot easier. There was a time about a year ago when it was really, really tough. But at the moment, daily challenges probably bedtime, clothes. Clothes seem to be a big challenge still for Billy. He doesn't like clothes, but he'll wear clothes all day at school, and then the second he comes through the door, he strips off, and it's hard to get him dressed again. So in the morning, it takes me about 20 minutes to get his school uniform on.
We go through this as well. There's just something. It's like I swear my living rooms just must be baking hot, because the second she's in from the door, it's like, well, hey! It's like, I worry for her future career.
Yeah, see, mine did it around that age, Harrison.
Yeah.
But now he's going through this phase where he needs to change his outfit every 10 minutes. So
my daughter went through that.
It's crazy. His entire room is just clothes all over the floor. I'll tell him to hang them back up. He basically, I end up doing it because he goes, I don't know how to do it. And I say, put it on the hangers, put it in. And he acts silly, and I end up doing it anyway. You're at university as well, aren't you?
I'm doing a children's nursing degree. So I'm in my first year. I've just done a year's access course, which was a full-time course to get into university. So that was a general nursing course. And now I'm specifically children. So it's exciting.
Why did that appeal to you? Why did you get into that field?
So I've always had an interest in care, and I've worked as a healthcare assistant before. But my daughter was born 15 weeks prematurely. So she was only £1.2 when she was born. She spent about 6 months in hospital before she even come home. And then she, probably for the first 2 years of her life, she was in and out. She had open heart surgery, and she was on oxygen and tube fed for about 3 years. But looking at her now, you'd never know. She's 7 now. She's amazing. But that really was what pushed me into doing nursing. And it really was about when is the right time for me to do it. Because obviously I have 2 children who have high care needs, and I am on my own. But it got to the point where, is there ever going to be a right time? So I just went for it, and I'm in my first year at university, and it's scary, but I love it. And
That's amazing. Total respect, because I really like, I think we sometimes life calls us in a direction, doesn't it? And it's like, you know, I think all 3 of us in one way or another, we've been pulled to a certain way of responding to what our kids have presented to us. And I mean, it's how this show came about in the first place, was that ultimate sort of thing, and having a sort of more of a purpose to something. And I really respect that, actually going and saying, you know what, that's what I want to do. And you're going to be such a help to people who are in the same boat, you know?
Yeah, I've wanted to do it for a long time. It's been a work in progress. And obviously, and then I was about to start, and then I had my son, and then obviously we realised he was autistic, and his care needs were actually so much higher than my daughter's. I didn't think that was possible.
Until you've been there, you don't get it, do you? It's one of those things.
No, not at all. One foot in front of the other at the moment, so we just see how far we can go.
Was there always a draw there to get into the field of nursing and care, or was it almost ignited because of your daughter and the experience. What was the draw for you to go in? When did it spark?
I think what it was is I'd been through a lot with my daughter. I've been in a lot of different hospitals, different wards, experienced a lot. And actually, when you're a parent and you're sitting there with your child in hospital, you learn so much, and I don't think you realise at the time how much you learn, like the terminology, what the machine's doing. And obviously when she come home, I was her nurse. She was, you know, she used to have about at least 15 different medicines a day.
Wow.
I used to have to feed her hourly through the night because she couldn't tolerate a lot of milk at once because it would affect her breathing. So I kind of felt like I'd been a parent carer, but also I've learned a lot. And as well, going through the autism diagnosis process and the ADHD process, I just felt like it would be a waste not to put my knowledge somewhere where I can do some good. So I just feel like, yeah, I feel like that's really why I've gone into it. Yeah, and specifically children, because I did a lot of adult in care, but I want to be a children's nurse. Yeah.
I remember bringing my eldest son home, Harrison, my first son, and I was petrified. The fact we haven't got midwives or nurses or anybody to help us. I had faith in my wife, obviously, and she was a nursery nurse and she'd done care and everything. But I was petrified. What if something goes wrong? What are we supposed to do? This is new to us. Did you have the same sort of feelings because you had all those medicines that she had to take? Did you have the same sort of dread?
Yes, every day. Yeah, it was tough. It was really tough, to be honest, because she was so small and so unwell. We nearly lost her quite a few times as well. So I think for me as a parent, I sort of had that fear that it was always going to sort of happen. But when she come home, you know, we had nurses coming in and out all the time, and she had an oxygen saturation monitor on her when she went to sleep. So if her oxygen dipped, it would alarm me and wake me up. So that gave me some confidence to let me have an hour's sleep and not worry about her breathing. But yeah, she's just incredible. She's so strong. She's tiny. She weighs 3 stone and she's 7, but she's just the strongest. Every cold she gets, she just fights off. And, you know, we was told, you know, she may never walk, she may never speak, she may never eat. We went through a stage where we was going to have a tube put into her belly rather than her nose, but then she started eating. So I think with her it was just being patient with her, really, and when she was ready to do it, she was ready to do it. Yeah.
That's such an
There's so much wisdom to that, isn't there? Because I think that's something, there's so much benchmarking done now that if someone doesn't hit a benchmark, parents worry and, you know, what's this mean? And it's like, well, sometimes it just takes a little bit longer. And that's the situation, you know, especially given what she's been presented with. It takes a little bit longer, but she's doing it. That's amazing.
Yeah, she is amazing. Yeah.
Is university as you expected?
Well, it's not, because it's all online because of coronavirus and the situation. So obviously, majority of it is online. I am lucky enough that I go in, I think it's averaging about every 2 weeks we go in and we do a skills session, which is preparing us for placement. But I enjoy the online learning. I know not everybody is a big fan, but for me, being a mum, it means I can do the school run every day. I don't have to worry about childcare. I'm here when they get in from school. Yeah, so for me, it's working really well.
So you're getting any time for you? Is this all just kids study? Are you doing anything else that keeps you sane?
Not really. It does keep me sane because I like to be busy. So it keeps me sane. But, I mean, there's not really much else to be doing at the moment. We're in lockdown.
I was going to say, yeah.
You know, so it's a good time I'm nearly the third of the way through my first year. So it's gone really quickly.
Well, saying that, because you're a single mum, do you find time to date at all?
Are you going somewhere with this, Chris?
My wife's going to be watching this episode, so I got nowhere to hide.
Occasionally. At the moment, it's not really an ideal situation again with coronavirus. Yeah, I have had time to date previously. Yeah.
I am genuinely, I do want to find out, because I've been with my wife for 16 years. Duncan, how long have you been with
We've been 12 years, 10 years married coming up in this coming year. So, yeah.
How has dating changed, say, since the last time you weren't single? Has it changed much?
Yes, I would say so. I don't think you meet people out as much as what you would have done previously.
Yeah.
So it's all online dating, or, you know, getting a message in your DMs. it's mostly online.
And I'm assuming it's
Tinder.
like it's a lion pit. What tactics are being used to get your attention? What's the strangest thing that people have tried? And I'm not after tips here before anybody else.
He's got a notepad there, I saw.
Yeah, no pen. Look, no pen. Although this is being recorded. So.
No, I don't know.
Has anybody done anything really odd?
Maybe one of the strangest things I've had is I've had someone message me before asking if I would consider letting him clean my boots and pay me. So that was really strange.
Did he give an amount? Or
No.
Was he fussed with gender? Because I got a couple of boots that need cleaning, and I would not mind if he paid me.
I think he must have just had a boot fetish, so just trying his luck, I suppose. Yeah, it was really strange. Yeah,
that's bizarre.
That was one of the strange.
It's not even that sort of perverted bizarre. That's just odd.
Is he on Twitter? Do we know him?
No, I have no idea.
Oh.
No idea. I swerved that one. Yeah.
One of the big problems, obviously, online and dating and social media is unsolicited messages and pics. Is that something that I think every woman, but is that something that you have to deal with quite regular, or?
I wouldn't say regularly, but it is something that, it is something that happens. I think it happens to every woman. Every woman gets a message that she doesn't want, or a picture that just comes up on the screen.
You can phrase that so much better. I just draw a little hole here.
Right, we'll get off dating. We'll talk about send, because that's one of your big passions. Okay. Obviously.
The look of relief on Kirsty's face right now.
How did you become involved with the same community?
Yeah, so I haven't been on Twitter very long. I've been on it for maybe a year, and I joined to connect with like the student nursing community. And then I think I ended up tweeting about autism one day, and found Adam on Autism Sharing Care. And then obviously found you guys. That's really how it happened, and it just took off from there. Adam's
awesome. We had him on a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, he was brilliant.
I don't know why I joined Twitter, but I don't think it was to do with... I didn't even know the same community existed, to be fair.
No,
I had no idea. And I think it was Send Warrior Mum. And she'd done a follow back Sunday. I hope I'm saying that right. She'll kill me if I'm not. Yeah, and I think I made a comment about my son being autistic, and then all of a sudden there was this huge wave of people and saying hi and introducing themselves, and it kind of just snowballed. And I made some amazing friends as well. What about you, Duncan? How did you become involved in it on Twitter?
Twitter's not one for me, because obviously my old career was in social media marketing, and so I had every form of social media going, and I still do in various ways. I built up a really big following from that side of things. So I got a lot of followers on Twitter, but once I'd started my group on Facebook and that really started building, and I started the PDA Dad channel, I thought, well, best thing I can do is try and get this out on Twitter as well, so that people can discover it that way if they want to. And just stumbled into this community that was there. And it's fantastic. I said before, it sucks at the moment because I don't get much time to get onto Twitter and really interact with people. But I love that there's that sense that it's almost a bit scary at first, isn't it? Because you wander in and it's like a whole bunch of people there chanting, one of us, and it's like, whoa, hang on.
Did you ever see The Dog Whisperer?
Yes.
Yeah, and you know when they take that dog into that huge pound and then all the dogs come running? That's what it reminded me of. Is you don't know what's going on, and you're kind of really like, "Who are you? Why are you so friendly?" And there's like 100 of them around you. Tell me about
Must
yourself.
be what people feel when they arrive at a cult. You know, that whole sort of what's going on here? But they like me.
Yeah. Well, that actually leads me on to the next question, Kirsty. If you had to describe the community to someone who didn't know about it, how would you describe it?
I tend to, if I meet somebody new and they seem to be at the beginning of their sort of Zen journey, I would always say, "Oh, are you on Twitter? There's an amazing Zen community. You know, everyone helps each other out. You can literally just. I think for me personally, it's nice just I can pick up my phone, I can ask a question, and I will have 10 people give me an answer. And it's just. I think it's amazing. I honestly, I'm so glad that I found everybody, because I mean, with my son, obviously I've had Twitter, but with my daughter, I went through the whole sort of system, maybe till she was about 5 or 6, on my own really, and I didn't have any of the groups or anyone to give me any advice. So yeah, I just think it's amazing that everyone comes together.
How would you describe it, Duncan?
The same way. What I really like about the Twitter community, or the Zen community on Twitter, and in fact on social media in general, like Facebook as well. And what I love is that there is a genuine, it's a support there, and you can be really open and honest, and you can say in general, "I'm having a really bad day today," and it's relatively judgment free.
Yeah,
you get people who are just, "Hey, we've been there too." And the first response is usually from people who's like, "Mate, we get it. We all go through these days," and to be able to be that open and say things suck at the moment, and actually have people just go, "Hey, sending some vibes your way," it makes a big difference, just knowing that you can share that. What I love is that there's also there's a joy in celebrating the positives. When something good happens, everyone's just as excited to be on that and celebrate the good things.
Yeah.
And there's not enough of that in a lot of areas.
Yeah.
And I love that this particular community, it's about genuine support, so celebrating the successes. And when you're in Send, things that bypass, I think, other parents, there's just, they're just the standard milestones as we move on and we go through. For us, it's like, "Hey, he spoke to you the first time today," and if you've got a non-verbal child, that's like huge, And, he ate something other than chicken nuggets today, and everyone's like, "Woohoo!" All that sort of stuff.
Yeah, it's nice to have when you can post something like that and people automatically, they understand straight away. Whereas if you post it to, say, your day-to-day friends, it'd kind of be like, "Oh, okay, they ate a bit of toast, well done."
Yeah, exactly. Usually what I call CNN.
If you tweeted it, everyone would just be like, "Wow, that's amazing," because everybody gets it,
That's what I miss the most. Is I remember the first time I posted something. I think it was maybe an issue with my son. It might have been sleep or eating or something. And I remember someone coming back to me and them saying, "Oh, I get it. We've been through that." And it was such a buzz, because you realise that there's someone, that you're not alone. And it was such a huge buzz. I really miss that.
That's such a part of it, because I think when you start on the Zen journey, it's a really bad way of putting it away, but when you first get into the Zen community, I suppose, when you do feel so isolated, when we discovered the issues that our daughter has, and that she is autistic and she is PDA and she is ADHD, and as we started this, you feel really alone, and it's not helped by the professionals who make you feel like you're a bad parent at first, and it's just because you suck, and it's not because there's any things that could be causing this. It's all that sense that when you stumble into the community and suddenly there's this huge amount of people that are going through the same thing, and you realize you're not alone in this, like you say, not alone. I think that's a huge thing.
It really is. I think it was the move to my new house at the moment. And I remember putting up, because my son was making comment after comment after comment. He hated me. He hated where we were going to live. He hated the new house. He wanted to stay there. He was willing to give up me, his mum, and his brother to stay in the house he was in. And I approached the SEN community with this, and I got so much useful information that I could actually use, and it was quite streamlined, and it worked. How has the community helped the both of you?
I think for me, it's just given me an outlet, so I can talk about autism and SEND and everything else as much as I like, and no one's gonna judge me or tell me, you know, oh, can you stop talking about that for a minute? So it's just given me that little outlet that I need sometimes, or, you know, when something's happened and I don't have people around me who understand really, so I don't have them to talk to. So if I tweet something out, I know I'm going to have somebody to talk to about it, you know. And I usually message Chris and have a have a moment.
Yeah, been called the therapist.
Yeah.
And the first 100 sessions are free. I think we're up to 8 now, but
Yeah. Chris sees me pop up and thinks, "Oh gosh, what's happened now?" Yeah.
What about you, Duncan? Have you ever taken anything away, advice that someone's given you, and you've gone, that's really useful that you didn't know?
There have been. I found that sympathetic ear to be more. The funny thing is, because I run the Facebook group, because there's 26,000 members on there now, and because I'm the head admin and it's my group, I'm the one usually sort of dishing advice. What I find really beneficial is that just being able to say, struggling, and just getting a bunch of people going, you got this. Just that moral support really helps me.
You've got quite a few people on Twitter that we all know that are all taking up projects. You've got Fleck, who's doing his artwork, his Ask Fleck in the Mornings, which is kind of a podcast interviewee sort of style. You've got Abby Littical, who's got her Etsy store, YouTube and TikTok, and also Hujay, who's multi-talented, who's got YouTube, blog, an author, and a movie as well, I think I heard him say. Kirsty, you've got a project as well, haven't you?
We have, yes, we have. I say we, there's a few of us. It's in the early stages. So we are working on a website. It's called senduk.org. So it's on my Twitter. There's a link there. It's in the very early stages. But what we're planning on doing is creating a website that has everything in one place. So I think for me, when I meet somebody who, you know, is at the start of their journey, as it were, I always find that I'm straight away, I say, oh, have you applied for this? Have you heard about this charity? Have you heard about this? Have you heard about that? And I feel I kind of overload them with information about what they are entitled to, what they can apply for, who they can get help from. So this is just going to be a website where everything is in one place, charities that you can go to, also things like days out. So when you go on days out, places that will give you a discount if you're a carer, or give you a queue jump so your child doesn't have to wait in the queue and things like that. So I'm working with Laura McConnell, Adam from Autism Care and Share. We have Ross, we have Ross as well, who is an inclusion consultant, Elaine, who is a speech and language therapist and neurodiversity advocate. So yeah, it's there's a few of us and we're all working on it together. Adams will be taking the what happens when you go from child to adult services. So I don't know about you guys, but I don't know too much about what happens when you go over to adult services, and our children are going to grow up. So hopefully it's going to be a place where we can point people to where they can get everything that they're entitled to, what they can apply for, people they can follow for advice, you know, Facebook pages like Duncan's. Yeah, so it'll be hopefully really beneficial to people who are looking for some advice.
That's incredible. What a great idea.
Yeah, I'm really excited about it. So, you know, it's something that I really care about. Whenever I speak to somebody, I'm always, you know, have you heard about this? Have you heard about that? Because I didn't. I went through years of not knowing about what we could have, where we could go, what we could do. So yeah, I really like to inform people about what they can.
There's something out there though, is there? Everything that you kind of need to know or is essential to know is all in different places.
Yeah, and I think that's a problem, because you try and look for something and I mean, local areas sort of have everything in one place, but generally just somewhere you can go and you can find everything in one page. It will be really helpful, really helpful.
That is a wonderful idea. I love that. And that'll help so many people as well. Where were you 8 years ago?
Pardon?
Where were you 8 years ago?
I was on my own. Googling. I was Googling.
You're trying to stop people polishing your boots. Yeah.
I love
Don't
that
use that as a tagline, okay? No, I knew you would do that. Don't do that.
A boot as the thumbnail. Someone licking a boot.
Don't do that.
I love the people involved as well, because obviously we know Adam. I think I've spoken to Laura a couple of times, but I've seen a lot.
Yeah, Laura's amazing.
Yeah, really, really clever woman as well, and knows her stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, best of luck with that.
Thank you.
I think it's going to be really, really helpful to a lot of people. So, and probably me and Duncan as well, because like you said, grow up.
Yep.
So at some point we're going to be on there. And we certainly don't mind promoting it and making sure people know about it. So yeah, we can.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, it's genius. And I mean, because we just had the, you know, we've got a working diagnosis now because it's a girl with autism, so therefore it takes 20 times as long. But the whole thing is that, likely autism. Here's 2 pages full of links, which are on paper, so you're not going to bother typing out the 27 character. You know, to know there's one place where, you know, you can steer someone towards it. This has got the answers for you. I think that's great. Absolutely brilliant.
It's like a supermarket, isn't it? Rather than going into town and going all the different shops, you've got this one big supermarket that's got everything you need. So that's a really, really clever idea. I love it. Yeah,
Amazon of Send.
Oh, I like that. I like that. Amazon of Send.
Ooh, yeah,
trademark it. There's one last thing that we want to discuss and wanted your opinion on.
Yes.
Obviously, recently, Sia has come out with her new movie, which I think is out in January or February next year, called Music. She's cast a neurotypical lady to play the role of an autistic person. What's your opinion on this? Because there's been uproar from the autistic community, and I agree. But what's your opinion on it, Kirsty?
I mean, I completely agree as well. I have a few thoughts on this. See, what she's done is how she actually responded to the autistic community. So where people were commenting that, you know, they wasn't happy, and she was just coming back with really, really rude comments, actually. I think she should have took a step back and actually thought about it, and then maybe come back and said, you know, put a statement out rather than making comments. I think she put one comment up for somebody saying, maybe you're a bad actor.
I saw that.
Don't know if you saw that. Yeah, that was terrible. I think she tried to cover her tracks a little bit, and a few YouTube videos have come out since then. I think Maddie was about 14 when she played the role. So there was a YouTube video that come out where she said that to Sia that she was actually really worried that people would think that she was mocking them. And she kind of promised her, you know, I won't let that happen. And it's kind of happened. And it's hard as well when your friends are commenting and you can see how upset they are, you know, and they're not being met with the same, you know. She's researched for 3 years and used Autism Speak.
Well, that's the big thing for me. Like, of
well, they've
all
actually
the charities
tweeted
out there.
that. Yeah,
she changed it.
They've actually tweeted that. Did she change that?
Yeah, she said that they came on 4 years after the movie had taken place, and rightly so. People said, "Well, why did you bring Autism Speak on after the movie was made?" And then, of course, we were just about to say Autism Speak then came up and said, you didn't contact us for any consultation, which is
Yeah.
great, I think, but kind of not great, because now she's kind of left with, no, you haven't done any research for this. I think the one thing that really angered me was the replies to the autistic community. I think I do try and put myself in both shoes. Obviously, it's a lot more difficult to do it with the neurodiverse, but with Sia's shoes as well. And I thought, here's a woman that spent so much time and put, I say, her heart and soul, but has worked incredibly hard for a movie to come up with everything. But then she had no idea, and to claim that she did 3 years research and then act surprised when they come out and say, look, this, you can't do it this way. This is not us. It angered me, and I could see it from the community as well. It really angered me, the way that she was being. So it was almost like a spoiled child. She wasn't
listening, and she wasn't taking time out to understand. But I mean, you know, like, the media has such an influence on what people believe. You know, you kind of believe what you see and what you read. I know that in a year or two's time, I'm going to say to somebody, oh, my children are autistic. And they're going to say, oh, like the movie Music.
Yeah, you know, have the same, it's going to be Rain Man all over again, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's going to happen. But, you know, it's sort of, did you see The Witches with Anne Hathaway?
Yeah, I was fuming with
that. With the limb difference. And, you know, everyone was really upset about that. And she actually went away, and, you know, she didn't respond silly comments. She went away, and she listened to what people said, and she put a statement out, and she apologized.
Yeah.
You know, she said she didn't put the link together, and if she had, she would never have, you know, never have done it. And I think that's what Sia should have done. She should have stepped away and come back. And
the other thing that was really annoying is that she was still responding to a lot of people. Once she stopped responding to the criticism, because there was an abrupt stop, she then started responding to people that were saying, don't listen to the trolls, this movie's good. And all of a sudden she starts responding then, oh, thank you so much. So at this point, she's almost silencing the autistic community by not actually addressing any of this.
I think a big part of it, and this is the problem when you get passion projects, and I imagine, and I'm kind of playing devil's advocate here, and I'm sort of, I guess, let's put this in the best possible light from Sia's perspective. I imagine that she thought she was going to do something really positive. But she's gone in all guns blazing rather than doing the research that was required. She's cast a non-autistic person in an autistic person's role. It would have been much better and much more genuine if you'd had somebody who was autistic playing the autistic person's role. There's no reason not to do that, and you could have done that, and it would have actually made it more genuine.
Well, she did give a reason, though, didn't she? That was the other.
She was having trouble with the demands and the anxieties that it was causing, I think, is what she said, isn't it?
Yeah, well, she said she didn't want to put the stress on an autistic person, which, again...
No, I think she said that she used an autistic woman, I think she said, to start with, and it was too overwhelming for her, the environment, which sort of takes us back to inclusion.
Yes.
So, you know... There is ways to work around that. You can adapt the environment, you can adapt the light, and you can adapt, you know. Yeah. So I think that was just, I think that, to me personally, it sounded like that was an excuse. And I have watched a video on YouTube from years ago where they was talking about creating the movie with Maddie then. So I don't think that she had.
She's gone into this thing, and then the criticisms hit. And rather than do exactly what you're saying, rather than going, whoa, I'm going to step back and process this before I respond, she's gone Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Yes.
And just verbal diarrhea, and just got to dug the hole so much deeper than it needed to be.
What was it? Yeah. Fuckity fuck grr. Why don't you watch the movie first? I think was one of her tweets.
Yeah.
And of course, that got 3,000 comments with everybody mocking her for it.
I'm pretty sure she got my daughter to do that response. That's exactly what she did.
No, it's just, I mean, we haven't seen the movie.
No, but even the trailer.
I don't know if I'm going to watch it either, to be honest.
I know it wasn't the intention, but it feels like Maddie as the character and how she acts is mocking an autistic person, and that infuriates me. these hand actions and facial expressions while being in all this colourful world. It infuriates me. And I can only imagine how an autistic person must feel to see that. And then this was her portrayal of an autistic person. It drives me crazy. It really does. And I will avoid it like the plague. Absolutely. And like you said, it would just be another Rain Man where people will see it and then think that, well, that's autism. That's autism now. One of the worst things that I think probably the worst thing about the whole situation is that her fans have now, because they're protecting Sia, have attacked the autistic community. And they have some of the comments I've seen on Twitter are absolutely horrendous. Really? Some of the most horriblest stuff. I'm not going to say them on here because it genuinely upset me.
You know what? The one positive that we can take from this and actually make this good is that it's actually raising the topic.
Yeah.
So as a community now, we've got a choice that we can make this a backlash against Sia, or we can say, you know what? You started the conversation, we're going to finish the conversation the right way and use it as an opportunity to actually get correct information and correct reflections of the autistic community from actually autistic people and actual parents of people who are autistic, so that the truth is actually put out there as a result.
It is. There is an opportunity here to take the momentum that the movie has built.
Yep. And
take it in a different direction. It's just a shame that it needed to be started this way.
I agree. Yeah, absolutely.
It seems that autism or the actually autistic hashtag seems to trend when, you know, something not very nice is happening. You know, it'd be nice for it to trend when, you know, something amazing's happened.
That's why I love the Autism Rocks hashtag. That was such a great thing when that was being pushed.
I haven't seen that hashtag actually.
No, me neither.
And it really was about promoting positive autism awareness, which was fantastic. That's it for this week, guys. First of all, I want to thank Chris for being here as always.
Thank you, mate.
And a massive thank you to Kirsty. It's been fascinating hearing your story and all the stuff that you're doing. And for anybody watching, get onto that website. What's the website again, Kirsty?
senduk.org. It's on my Twitter, so just click on the link, and we have a Twitter page as well. So it's in the early stages, but keep an eye on it, and it'll be really, really beneficial for a lot of people, hopefully.
Fantastic. Thanks so much for being on. It's been brilliant.
Yeah, thank you. I've really enjoyed it. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, guys, for tuning in. Please do click on the like. Please do comment. We'd love to hear your feedback. We want to hear your opinions on the Sia movie music. What are your thoughts? What do you think we can do to make this a more positive spin for the autistic community? Let's get it out there and on there. Please do subscribe. Please do follow us on Twitter and tune in next time. We will see you next time.